you start Caitlin Clark. And let's be completely honest. You start Caitlin Clark. We just have to talk about this for argument's sake. You start Caitlin Clark. But unless you are just, again, just opposed to Caitlin Clark as a basketball player, not as a human being, you are just opposed to the way Caitlin Clark plays basketball. And it's very clear the coach is opposed to the way Caitlin Clark plays basketball. But we got to look long-term at a positive. When Stephanie White is back doing media, because let's be real, there's not going to be a team that's rushing to sign Stephanie White at the end of the season. When she's back in the media,
the Indiana Fever's recent performance has highlighted significant concerns about their current roster configuration and strategic approach. Despite widespread disappointment with the team's overall execution, certain individual performances have provided glimpses of potential solutions to their ongoing struggles. Current starting lineup decisions face intense scrutiny from analysts who believe fundamental changes are necessary for the organization to maximize their competitive potential. The debate centers around whether adjustments should target specific positions or involve more comprehensive restructuring of player roles.
And sign Stephanie White at the end of the season. When she's back in the media, when that happens, and it's Caitlin Clark and Leah Boston, the only other player I'm so set on being there is Makayla Timpson. She is so important for this team. Like, I don't think people realize how important long-term Makayla Timpson is for this team. Short-term, I don't know how great she's going to be this year. She's already exceeded my expectations based on how she was to start. She's already exceeded my expectations.
Two primary scenarios emerge as potential solutions to the team's current difficulties. The first involves reconsidering the point guard position and whether alternative options might better serve the team's tactical objectives. The second focuses on power forward duties and whether different personnel could provide more consistent production. Strategic considerations suggest that competent coaching staff would seriously evaluate both possibilities before determining which adjustment offers the greatest likelihood of improved results. The decision ultimately reflects organizational priorities and philosophical approaches to team building.
How she was to start. She's already exceeded my expectations. I didn't think she was going to be... Look, I didn't think she was going to be bad by any means. I thought she was going to come in and do a job. I didn't think she was going to be... this good. I did not think she was going to be this good this quickly after getting no minutes for so long. But, yeah, it is a very, very interesting one right here.
Ari McDonald represents one alternative that could potentially address current deficiencies in ball handling and court vision. Her skill set offers different strengths compared to the current starting configuration, though any change would require careful consideration of how it impacts overall team chemistry. Long-term planning reveals that certain players hold greater significance for the franchise's future success than others. Makayla Timpson has emerged as a particularly valuable asset whose development could prove crucial for sustained competitiveness over multiple seasons.
Interesting one right here. But if you guys have seen just the way Caitlin Clark has been talking about Makayla Timpson, like, Makayla Timpson was their best player last night. Their best player was Makayla Timpson to play more than 10 minutes. Their best guard was Caitlin Clark. Their second best player was Dantas, but she barely played. But if you guys haven't seen the way that, like, Caitlin's been talking about Makayla Timpson. So I think she's been tremendous. The athleticism that she has, she blocks shots, she gets her hand in passing lane. She's going to be a great asset for us going forward. I'm really proud of her. And
initial expectations for Timpson's immediate impact were modest, but her rapid improvement has exceeded most projections. Despite limited playing time early in the season, she has demonstrated remarkable adaptation to professional basketball demands and established herself as a reliable contributor. Recent performances have showcased Timpson's versatility and defensive capabilities. Her ability to affect multiple aspects of the game through shot blocking, steal generation, and overall court awareness has become increasingly apparent as her minutes have expanded.
I'm really proud of her. And that's the thing when it comes to Timpson, is that Timpson is going to be huge. There's a reason why fans are excited. And I mean this. The fact Stephanie White, I don't care. We always said this. We're like, I don't care how bad Timpson is. She can't be worse than Bree Turner. She can't be worse than Bree Turner. But, like, Timpson had a career game. She had 10 points on 9 shots. She was the only player on the team that shot above 33% from the field. I'm not joking. She was the only player on the team that shot above 33% from the field. She had 5 stocks. And by the way, she averaged 5 stocks a game in college. I know college.
Statistical analysis reveals impressive efficiency numbers during her increased playing time. In recent contests, she has posted shooting percentages well above team averages while contributing significantly in defensive categories that directly impact game outcomes. Her college background at Florida State University included impressive defensive statistics, averaging substantial numbers in combined steals and blocks per game. While acknowledging the difference between collegiate and professional competition levels, these indicators suggested potential for continued success at higher levels.
She averaged 5 stocks a game in college. I know college, especially for FSU, isn't the same as the WNBA. It's not the same. Let's be real. It's not the same. But like, she's averaging, what does she have? 6, 9. She's averaging 3 stocks a game over her last 3. And they are, in fairness, 2 losses. Like, she's started getting, playing. Since she started playing, she's averaging nearly 3 stocks per game. Probably just over 2 stocks per game. Since
current defensive production has maintained impressive consistency, with her stocks per game remaining at levels that justify increased responsibility within the team's rotation. The correlation between her expanded role and improved defensive team performance cannot be overlooked. Previous roster decisions that limited her playing time in favor of less productive alternatives have drawn criticism from observers who question the logic behind such choices. The contrast in contributions between different players at similar positions has become increasingly evident.
Since she's coming back, and like this is, or since she started playing, this is someone who was getting DNPs. Was getting DNPs for Bree effing Turner. Like, she needs to, realistically, she needs to start. Because at this point right now, Makayla Timpson and Aaliyah Boston have been garbage with each other. Like, that is a factual statement. When the two of them are on the floor at the same time together, they've been terrible. But, like, again, there's not a big enough sample size to say Makayla Timpson and Aaliyah Boston can't play with each other.
Chemistry concerns exist regarding certain player combinations, particularly involving interactions between Timpson and other frontcourt players. However, limited sample sizes make definitive conclusions about long-term compatibility difficult to establish. Aaliyah Boston's basketball intelligence represents one of her greatest assets, compensating for areas where pure athleticism might be lacking compared to other centers in the league. Her understanding of positioning and game situations enables her to maximize her effectiveness despite potential physical limitations.
Makayla Timpson and Aaliyah Boston can't play with each other. There's not a big enough sample size for that, and I think they'll figure it out. I think Aaliyah Boston's biggest thing is her like IQ. I think that's why Aaliyah Boston's so good. I think she's so good because she's so smart. I think Aaliyah Boston, talent-wise, is not near the most talented center. She's the smartest center. She's smart, so she can start to do things like that. But at the end of the day, we're looking at a Natasha Howard who is, I don't know if Natasha Howard, a lot of people are like,
Natasha Howard's current role has generated debate about whether her production justifies her position within the starting lineup. While she possesses experience and championship credentials, recent performances have raised questions about her consistency and effort levels. Defensive effort has been particularly scrutinized, with observers noting significant variations in Howard's engagement from game to game. When motivated, she demonstrates capability for high-level defensive performance, but sustained effort has been inconsistent.
hey, by the end of the day. And if you guys are live on stream right now, if we can get to 300 likes over halftime, that would be insane. That'd be absolutely insane. And if you're watching this as a video, if we get to 300 likes, like, Makayla Timpson is so young, she's so raw, but like, oh my god, hang it in the freaking Louvre. Like, Rakia's athletic.
International playing experience has provided mixed results, with some questioning whether her approach to defense during overseas competition reflected optimal preparation for returning to professional basketball in the United States. Trade scenarios represent potential solutions if organizational philosophy conflicts with current roster construction prove irreconcilable. Hypothetical exchanges involving key players could yield significant returns that might better align with coaching preferences. Dallas Wings emerge as a potential trading partner given their draft assets and young talent that could complement different strategic approaches. Such exchanges would require careful evaluation of both immediate and long-term implications for all parties involved.
Makayla Timpson is comfortably there in the help. Comfortably there in help side. Like, she's not even there. Not only that, like, Makayla Timpson has 4 boards in 6 minutes. 4 boards in 6 minutes. I understand she has, is it 2 fouls or 1 foul? 1 foul. She did kind of get given a bit of the business a little bit by Mercedes Russell. But I'm sorry, it's not Timpson's fault Mercedes Russell hit like a fadeaway.
Alternative roster configurations could potentially create more balanced scoring distributions and improve defensive cohesion. The theoretical combination of different players might address current weaknesses while maintaining strengths in key areas. Playoff aspirations remain achievable with proper adjustments, though time constraints require decisive action rather than continued experimentation with unsuccessful combinations. The window for meaningful improvements narrows as the season progresses. Future coaching considerations add another layer of complexity to current decisions. Long-term player development must account for potential changes in leadership and tactical philosophy that could emerge in subsequent seasons.
But Timpson also made a hook shot. She made a hook shot. That's like her first like real bucket. That wasn't just like the ball dumped down to her for an open layup. Like, that is the first real bucket that Makayla Timpson has gotten since preseason, where she's actually had to go. She's had to go and, like, she's had to go and do something. But, like,
European basketball opportunities provide alternative paths for player development, particularly for those whose skills might be better utilized in different systems or competitive environments. Such experiences could enhance value and readiness for future professional opportunities. International competition levels vary significantly, but success in high-quality European leagues often translates to improved performance upon return to domestic competition. The experience gained through different styles of play and increased responsibility can accelerate development. Roster stability concerns persist, given the various tensions and uncertainties surrounding key personnel. Contract situations and player satisfaction levels could influence future availability and commitment to organizational goals.
Acting like this player, it's not like Makayla Timpson didn't do it all the time in college. Like, she averaged like 5 stocks per game in college. And I understand it was at FSU. I understand. But I'm just saying, hang it in the Louvre at this stage. Like, the athleticism from Makayla Timpson.
Historical precedent suggests that player trade demands in professional women's basketball typically result in accommodating moves, particularly when involving high-profile talents. Organizations generally prioritize maintaining positive relationships over forcing uncomfortable situations. Connecticut Sun represents one of the few recent examples where trade demands were not immediately satisfied, though specific circumstances surrounding that situation may not apply to other potential scenarios. Market dynamics and competitive balance considerations influence how organizations approach difficult personnel decisions. The intersection of business interests and basketball success creates complex decision-making environments. Performance evaluation must consider both individual statistics and team success metrics when determining optimal roster configurations. The balance between maximizing individual talents and achieving collective goals requires careful analysis.
Is something that the Indiana Fever are going to need. They're going to need it this. They're going to need her this year. They are going to need her this year. She's not going to be a major player this year. She's not going to be a major contributor this year. But if they're going to win a championship, which I still don't think the Fever are going to do, but if they want to be in with a shout of winning a championship, they need it. They need Makayla Timpson to play like she is a...
Sustainable success depends on identifying players whose skills complement each other while also fitting within established tactical frameworks. The challenge lies in finding combinations that enhance rather than limit individual capabilities. Organizational patience with current approaches may be tested as results continue to fall short of expectations. Pressure for immediate improvements could force decisions that might otherwise be delayed until additional evaluation opportunities arise. Future developments will likely determine whether current roster construction can achieve competitive objectives or whether more significant changes become necessary to meet organizational standards and supporter expectations.
Like she's one of the top players. They need her to do it. And I think she can. I think she can play like she's a top bench player, a top energy player. And I think as time goes on, she's going to be a huge, huge part of this team. I think she could be a big reason why the Fever are going to be great in the future. And look, do the Fever...
Discussion must center on Makayla Timpson's emerging contributions. Timpson's performance demands attention given her 4 rebounds accumulated during limited court time. Statistical records may show 1 block, though multiple rejections occurred throughout her appearance. The time frame remains significant. These accomplishments occurred within 6 minutes of action. The execution demonstrated during this brief period proves remarkable. Multiple camera angles captured her positioning excellence. Her presence near the basket showcases exceptional athletic ability. This represents freakish athleticism specifically suited for professional women's basketball standards. Her athletic capabilities appear extraordinary even within elite competition. Timpson possesses youth and raw potential requiring development. Her athletic gifts remain undeniable. The rim protection she provides creates defensive anchor points. Her help side defensive positioning appears natural and instinctive. She arrives at proper locations without apparent effort, demonstrating defensive awareness beyond her experience level.
Are the best young core in the WNBA, yeah, just purely because of Caitlin and Aaliyah. But like, it's not a foregone conclusion. Like that young core in Dallas, that young big 4 in Dallas are all legit. They are all absolutely legit. It's really the young core in Washington, with how Lucy Olsen's playing, with Jade Melbourne being 22 years old. So with all of these players, like Enksler's young, Kone's young, they can figure it out. They can figure it out.
Within 6 minutes, Timpson accumulated 4 rebounds, displaying her rebounding instincts. She received 1 foul during this stretch, encountering some physical challenges from veteran Mercedes Russell. Russell managed to score against Timpson using a difficult fadeaway attempt. Though this outcome shouldn't reflect negatively on Timpson's defensive effort, Timpson demonstrated offensive capability through a hook shot execution. This bucket represented her first legitimate scoring attempt requiring individual skill rather than simple passes for easy layups. The hook shot marked her first authentic offensive contribution since preseason activities, showing her ability to create individual scoring opportunities when necessary. College performance provides context for current expectation. Timpson averaged approximately 5 blocks per game during collegiate competition at Florida State University. While competition level considerations apply, her shot blocking production indicated consistent defensive impact throughout her amateur career.
And with all of those players, like young cores, the Fever need more. The Fever need more than just their big 2 as young players. But they can genuinely be. They can be elite. And Makayla Timpson probably isn't going to be Natasha Howard, but she doesn't have to be. You've got Caitlin Clark. All you have to do is block shots and run the floor.
Current athletic demonstrations suggest immediate value for Indiana's roster construction. The athleticism Timpson provides addresses specific team needs this season. Her contributions may prove essential for Indiana's success during the current campaign, despite expectations for limited playing time and rookie development requirements. Championship aspirations require depth beyond star players. While Indiana may not achieve championship status this season, future success depends on developing players like Timpson. She must perform at elite bench player standards to contribute meaningfully toward team goals.